Have you ever heard of a Christmas ornament so haunted it turned a season of joy into a living nightmare? This isn't your typical holiday story filled with joy and laughter. Tonight, we're diving into the chilling tale of a haunted Christmas ornament that turned a season of cheer into a nightmare. By the end of this story, you might never look at your holiday decorations the same way again. It all began in the winter of 1998. In a small New England town blanketed with snow. The Henderson family was known for going all out during the holidays. Their house glowed with twinkling lights. The scent of fresh pine filled the air, and the centerpiece of their living room was a massive Christmas tree, adorned with ornaments collected over generations. That year, while shopping at a local antique store, Susan Henderson stumbled upon an ornament unlike any she had ever seen. It was a delicate glass sphere, hand-painted with a snowy winter scene. But what made it truly unique was the miniature cabin inside the globe, complete with tiny figures in the windows. It was breathtakingly detailed, and Susan couldn't resist adding it to her collection. When Susan brought the ornament home, her husband, Paul, teased her about her obsession with antiques. "Another relic for the tree?" he joked. But her children, Emma and Lucas, were fascinated by the ornament's intricate design. That night, as they placed it on the highest branch, a strange chill filled the room. Susan brushed it off as the drafty old house, but the feeling lingered. The first sign that something was wrong came a few days later. Emma woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of faint music. It wasn't coming from her room or the television downstairs. It was soft, eerie, and seemed to echo through the house. When she followed the sound, it led her to the living room. The Christmas tree stood in the darkness, and the new ornament was glowing faintly. Emma called for her parents, but by the time they arrived, the glow had disappeared and the music had stopped. "You were dreaming," Susan said, trying to calm her daughter. But Emma insisted it was real. Lucas, curious and unafraid, decided to stay up the next night to see if anything happened. Around 2 a.m., he saw it for himself. The ornament began to glow, and the tiny figures inside the cabin seemed to move. Their positions had changed, as if they were alive. From that night on, the house was plagued with strange occurrences. The tree lights flickered uncontrollably, even when unplugged. Shadows darted across the walls, and the family began hearing whispers in the dead of night. The dog, Max, refused to go near the tree, barking and growling whenever he was in the room. One evening, as the family gathered to watch a Christmas movie, the whispers turned into loud banging sounds coming from the living room. Rushing in, they found the tree toppled over, ornaments shattered across the floor, all except for the glass sphere, which hung perfectly on the fallen branch, untouched. Paul, now convinced that the ornament was the source of their troubles, decided to get rid of it. He placed it in a box and took it to the shed at the far end of their property. But that night, the banging grew louder, shaking the walls. The family huddled together in fear, and when they finally ventured to the shed the next morning, the box was empty. The ornament was back on the tree. Desperate, Susan reached out to a local historian, Mrs. Callahan, who specialized in the town's folklore. When Mrs. Callahan saw the ornament, her face went pale. "This ornament was part of a tragic story," she explained. "It belonged to a family who lived here in the 1800s. They were found dead in their cabin on Christmas Eve, under mysterious circumstances. Legend says their spirits were trapped inside this ornament. Mrs. Callahan advised them to destroy it, but when Paul attempted to smash the ornament, it remained unscathed. He tried burning it, burying it, even throwing it into a nearby river. Each time, the ornament reappeared on the tree, its glow growing brighter and more menacing. The final straw came on Christmas Eve. The whispers turned into screams, and the figures inside the ornament were visibly moving, banging on the glass as if trying to escape. The house shook violently, and the family fled into the snow, leaving everything behind. The Hendersons never returned to the house. It's said that the ornament still sits on the tree, waiting for its next victim. The house remains abandoned, a chilling reminder of a cursed Christmas that no one will ever forget. If you're feeling brave, hit that subscribe button for more stories that will make your skin crawl. And if you dare, check out our next video. It might just haunt your dreams.